So how's it going, guys? Fly here, back with my third and final video of just tonight, which is actually going to be talking about all of the new specs that have been released for the minimum and recommended specifications for the PC version of GTA 5 coming on March the 24th. So I'm going to be talking about what I think this game is going to run like on the different specs, what you guys may need to upgrade in your PCs to be able to run this game smoothly if you are planning on picking it up here in the coming months. So if you guys do end up enjoying the video or do learn anything useful, be sure to go and hit that like button down below, as it really would help me out. Now let's go. Now earlier, Rockstar actually released the minimum and recommended specs for GTA 5 on the PC, and to be honest, these weren't a massive shock for anybody, the average stats that they're going to have to be running on, or the average specs. We were kind of expecting around these, but a lot of people were a bit too optimistic and were hoping for a bit lower, but I would say this is quite expected for such a big game and such a beautiful game such as GTA 5. Now we're going to start off with the minimum specifications, which mean you're basically going to have to run this on probably low to medium settings, definitely with anti-aliasing off, so you're definitely going to be struggling to run this game if you try to go on anything above medium to high. You might find yourself running into some issues, so I'm going to put the screenshot on the screen now so that you can actually have a look at it. So we have for our operating system Windows 8.1 64-bit, Windows 8 64-bit, and go on and on and on. I won't go through all of these, but most people by now have either got Vista or at least Windows 7 if you haven't already upgraded to Windows 8 or Windows 8.1. So for our processor, we actually have the Intel Core 2 Quad CPU 6600 running at 2.40 GHz, and for you more AMD oriented users, we actually have the Phenom 9850 Quad Core processor at 2.5 GHz if you're trying to stay with the AMD Radeon range. For our RAM, they say you're going to need at least 4GB of RAM, which is pretty much standard for these days, so most of you will probably already have this. For your video card, you need an NVIDIA 9800 GT 1GB, or for the AMD guys, an AMD HD 4870 1GB running DirectX 10, 10.1, or 11. So this isn't much of a shock, and to be honest, this is actually fairly low. I have to kind of agree that this isn't quite going to run it too well, but you will be able to run the game at all, which is always the main point. The sound card, they just say it has to be 100% DirectX 10 compatible, which pretty much every sound card ever is right now, but your hard drive is actually going to need 65GB of installation space, so this is going to be a very, very big game. 65 is definitely on the high end of games, but if you download this through Steam, typically you'll download a smaller file, which will of course expand upon installation. And finally, if you're picking this up physically, you're actually going to need a DVD drive, of course, for the installation. And now let's get on to the recommended specs for any of you guys who actually want to play this on maybe high or so settings. The OS doesn't really change, except we're told that you can't really use Windows Vista for this, as its game optimization is actually pretty poor. For the processor, you're going to need an Intel Core i5-3470 at least 3.2 GHz. If not, you're going to need an AMD X8 FX 8350 at 4 GHz. And you'll of course need about 8 GB of RAM. For the video card, which is of course the main important thing here, we actually need an NVIDIA GTX 660 2GB, and you AMD guys are actually going to be wanting to aim for an AMD HD 7870 at 2GB. These video card specs aren't really the highest, but they aren't exactly the lowest either, so I'm pretty happy with how they've came out. It's fairly average, and it was pretty much to be expected. For the sound card, of course, there's no difference here, just a standard motherboard sound card will do you well, and of course still 65GB of hard drive installation space. And that is pretty much all you have to know for the main specs of this game. If we hear any more information about how this game will run on the PC, I'll of course bring it to you guys as soon as I possibly can. Leave a like on the video if you guys did enjoy in any way, shape or form, and subscribe for more videos just like this coming very, very soon on anything related to GTA 5 on the next gen and of course on PC. And that is pretty much it. Thank you guys all very much for watching. My name has been Fly, signing out.